The sound was terrifying.
We've got some footage.
Do we?
Yeah,
oh, did you get that?
Footage, yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take.
Yeah, so I removed the sound.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the conclusion, final few bars of the Shostakovich.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, that's
you see what
right,
I see exactly what you mean. That's how I felt too.
We had tickets on the floor, but I knew it would. I didn't want to sit under the chandelier.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so we moved to the balcony for safety. Oh, good one. Hey, here we go, man. Got to get under the mic and Classical Rebellion. Woo!
Oh my. Yes. I can still feel
Ritorno Vincitore.
I can still feel that bass drum rattling in my chest.
Yeah. From the Shostakovich 11th
Matter of fact,
Symphony.
I can sort of feel the cold. It's kind of like the same cold of a Dementor that is coming down the street towards you. You can feel it suck the joy out of the air.
Yeah.
That is a fearsome symphony.
Yeah.
That is the music of terror.
Yeah.
Absolute terror. And I'm not just talking about 1905 either. I'm talking about everything that came after it.
Yeah.
And I can provide you with graphic examples. But maybe we won't.
Yeah. But they are abundant. And
this is a music that speaks for those people. Make no mistake about it. That was shattering. And the San Diego Symphony overcame some early trials and tribulations.
Yes.
A little bit of a stub toe in the brass, in the trumpet, a little stub toe in the French horn. Had a little an unfortunate slip of a mute, which came clattering to the floor in a very quiet passage. But that's these things happen. That's gravity for you,
Yes.
But
and it's a big but.
It's a big but. That was a performance of a work. That was a performance.
Yeah.
Our symphony just gave a real live performance.
Yeah.
I mean, their fingers were stuck in the proverbial electrical socket. That whole piece.
Yeah. And there's no break. Hour 5? Hour 10? Straight through. There's no break in between.
No, it alternates. The Shostakovich 11 alternates between. And what is it about an open fifth that is just cold?
It's cold.
Whether it's open fifths at the beginning of Act 3 of Bohème, way up in the strings, or here it's open fifths way down in the guts of the orchestra, the basses and cellos.
Yeah.
It's an ominous cold.
It is.
And it's a penetrating, fearsome cold, and but it's very quiet. It's like the fog suspended in the air, rising off of ice.
Yeah, but
it's an energized cold.
The whole concert was energized.
Oh, the whole thing, right from the Beethoven.
So we had Beethoven Violin Concerto with Stefan Jakiv. As the
beautifully
soloist.
done.
Oh my gosh!
Amazingly, engagingly played by a larger orchestra than we heard with Hadlich. Augustin Hadlich.
In June with me. So we've heard it twice now. Well, I've heard it 3 times. I've heard it twice in June, and now a third time within 7 months. That's a treat.
And this was a very lyric performance, a very elegant, delicate. Finely nuanced performance. I thought.
I caught you leaning forward. Was it the second movement where there was kind of a swell?
The third movement.
Yeah, it was the third movement.
It's when they're working their way through some minor passages, minor modulations from minor key to minor key, and the way the orchestra just flowed with him, swell and then recede, and then swell and then recede, and I just thought, wow, they're just flowing with him, with Raphael Paillet. It was really beautiful.
It was.
And I found myself as suddenly I forgot it was a it was a violin concerto, and I thought I was listening to, like a string serenade or something.
It was just great music.
It was beautiful music making.
Yeah.
Real ensemble playing.
Yeah, now, we missed a concert. I'm not even sure what the concert was, but this is 2 in a row for us with Beethoven. With spectacular playing. And
where they were as engaged, conversely as they were disengaged before.
Yeah.
I think they're on message.
They're on point. Yeah. Yeah. And it's idiosyncratic. It's colloquial. It's stylistic.
I didn't think that this young violinist was as athletic as some that I've heard. I didn't think he was as athletic as Hadley.
Okay.
But I thought that his playing was so beautiful. I found that in a number of places,
the tone is gorgeous.
He was playing straight tone at the ends of phrases, a la a quote unquote early instruments string pulsed bowing. And I thought he's really splitting the difference between the needs of a large concert hall and the kind of nuanced crescendo decrescendo sort of like pulsed bowing that you get with early instruments performance.
Yeah.
And I thought he did it beautifully. I thought, wow, this is a unique approach.
Yeah. Yeah. And his approach to the phrasings, the way he would add inflection in the middle of a phrase that I wasn't accustomed to. And I agreed with it. It wasn't like, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that.
But one of the other things, despite the fact that this is a large hall, it's a big hall. It's wide and it's tall, and the balcony is large, and there's a lot of room to fill.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought in the signs that the orchestra is on message is the fact that they had pizzicati tonight, and even some bowed passages that were as pianissimo as you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally can't play it much more quietly and hear it.
Yeah. And the same with Stefan.
But
go ahead.
No, but and the same with him as well.
Yeah, coming out of the coda in the first movement into that main theme of the first movement.
But the energy of the orchestra was such that they're drawing the orchestra into them to make them listen.
Yeah.
We are listening to them. We're drawing the audience in and making them listen. And it just goes to show that this is a good example, I think, of how someone like our dear friend Virginia Sublett could sing the Queen of the Night here in San Diego in a 3,000-seat theater. And Virginia's voice is not enormous, but she sang so beautifully, she made the audience come to her and listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's a lesson for any singer, any musician, violinist, vocalist, whatever. You don't have to blast to make music.
Yeah.
And it's good to be able to produce it, but you don't have to blast to make music. And if your musicality is such that it draws the audience to you, you will be heard because they will be listening to you.
And not once was he covered by the orchestra. He was always present.
No.
It was really well balanced.
Pyre was very careful to keep them down always. And
we were in the balcony, and I wasn't.
We were in the last 3 or 4 rows of the balcony.
Right between my ears. The sound was great.
And moving over into the Shostakovich, the sound wasn't just great. The sound was terrifying.
We've got some footage.
Do we?
Yeah,
did you get that?
Footage, yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take...
Yeah, so I removed the sound.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the conclusion, final few bars of the Shostakovich.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, that's
you see what
right,
I see exactly what you mean. That's how I felt too.
We had tickets on the floor, but I knew it would. I didn't want to sit under the chandelier.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so we moved to the balcony for safety
because that is what I call bringing down the house.
Yeah,
I mean, no, really, it was such a visceral. Sound. I've never heard the symphony make that much sound before.
As we said immediately afterward, it was far more satisfying than the Mahler Fifth. And we're only half a season now with Payari from that opening night to this.
No, I didn't think... For my money, the best Mahler Fifth that I have heard is, believe it or not, John Barbaroli and the Houston Symphony Orchestra.
Right. That's a live recording.
It lifts the roof. I mean, I've never heard the end of that played with more emphatic a result. I mean, it just, wow.
Yeah.
It just lights it up. I'll leave that to you. The sound isn't the great, but it's the performance. You can just tell. However, I mean, our Mahler 5 was good, but if they played the Mahler 5 now, I think after this experience, it would probably rival that other recording. I mean, the impact would be shattering.
Yeah.
They get him now.
Oh, yeah. See, and I thought with the Tchaikovsky 6th, I felt like he was purposefully breaking them of habits during the performance. Like he was taking no prisoners. Like and tonight it was kind of like, oh, we're getting close to the beginning of what this is going to really be.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's exciting.
It's unfortunate. The little flubs that happened tonight did not. I mean, when you play at that level as they did tonight, those kind of things just don't really matter. They don't impact the overall accomplishment of the performance. They got somewhere tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They really did. And I have to say, I mean, I found it tremendously moving. I thought that the introduction did a disservice to... I mean,
there was a video introduction to the Shostakovich
which when you talked about all the protest songs and everything.
That was nice. I like to have that.
It's true, but I mean, the fact is that those protest songs ring through in the light of Stalin's murders of the millions. As not as the glorification of the revolution, but as songs of menace and fear and threat, and they didn't really get to that.
But that is how they were presented by Shostakovich in this symphony.
Oh, absolutely.
Triumphant songs.
I believe Shostakovich himself described this piece as a song of hope for a people who have lost hope because the forces of evil have overflowed the banks. Now, you know, many people died on Bloody Sunday in 1905, but about 49.9 more million died between 1928 and 1957. So, I mean, those are the people he was writing for, and I thought, quite frankly, that our orchestra eulogized those people beautifully tonight.
They did.
You really did. That was very touching.
Yeah, I'll admit, I got a little teary.
Oh, I did.
In the fortissimo sections, even. It wasn't just that open fifth, like kind of eerie, like meditative. No,
the sheer terror of knowing, you know, what's going on and I commented on this as we left. You know, I got a little bit of a kick out of the fact that some people left early, you know, because they could.
Because they could, yeah.
You know, if in the Soviet Union, if you left the theater before Stalin finished clapping, you're going to Siberia.
Yeah.
And bad things are going to happen. Yeah. So I don't think they really realized the irony of their exit.
Ironic. Yeah.
But that's profound music, and the San Diego Symphony made profound music tonight. Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to the next concert, man.
Really,
all right.
Really over the moon about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Classical Rebellion.
Cool.